Hello and welcome to the third episode of In the North. This is brought to you by Basketball Queensland as part of the NBL1 In the North series. So you've got your game of the week, you've got this podcast, and I'm Briana Goodchild. I'm one of your commentators, and normally I'm joined by John Guana, but he couldn't be here tonight. But tonight I'm joined by some star players. I've got Lauren Mansfield from the Gold Coast Rollers. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for joining us. And I've got Ben Wilson from the Brisbane Capitals. Ben, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Thanks for having me on. Excited.
Yeah, woohoo. It's going to be a fun night chatting all things ball. So, we've just come out of round two, and it's a bit exciting because we've just started this inaugural season of the NBL1 North. Highly anticipated and waited for as well with, COVID coming in and changing everything up. Round one was good to just start things off. Round two, we're now starting to see a ladder form, and it's looking pretty good for both of your teams. So not too bad, not too shabby so far.
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, that's good. So, Lauren, I wanted to start off with a bit of chat with you just about how the season's looking. So you're, a former Opal, and you play for the Perth Lynx in the WNBL. So far for the first two rounds, you're averaging 23 points, 7 assists, 5.5 rebounds in those first two games. And then against Cairns this week, we had 19 points, 8 assists and 7 rebounds. So how are you feeling with the start of the NBL1 North?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's really nice to just be playing again. I think just because the WNBL was shorter, and then obviously last year was very disrupted. So it's nice to just be playing basketball, and I'm just really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the teammates. We play, I think, good team basketball. We're working hard to get each other open and things like that. And yeah, just like finding each other. Obviously, we're still building, and so getting used to each other. But yeah, I think we're getting better every week with, pretty much every time we're on the floor, whether it's trainings or games, or even we had some preseason games as well. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what we can do this year.
Yeah, very exciting. And you're right. So good to just be back playing ball and having basketball back in Queensland.
Yeah.
So you joined the Gold Coast Rollers after having played for Red City Raw last season. So
yeah,
how has it been under the new coach?
Yeah, it's been great actually. I didn't really know Jackie at all before this season. She kind of gave me a call and just talked about what she wanted to do and what she saw for the team. And she talked a lot about, setting that good team culture and just running, a freestyle of offense and then really working on defense as well. So I think we clicked instantly. I feel like we can definitely learn a lot off of each other. I'm loving our coaching staff and the club as well. I'm really enjoying it this season. And I feel like it's helped me to just loosen up a bit and just be able to go out there and play and obviously still lead on the court and try to help the younger ones. But I think me and Jackie feed off each other well. So it's nice to, talk ideas and just basically talk basketball. And I think she knows what she's doing. She's got a lot of, good plays and she's fun to talk to. I like picking her brain about basketball. So it's been really good so far.
That's so good. So rave reviews for Coach Jackie Brown. And I don't know if you're trying to recruit or something, but I want to join the team. How do I do
it? Absolutely. The more the merrier.
Quick, get back into it. I used to play, back in the day in high school and everything, but it's my sister who's kept it up, not me.
Right.
But yeah, look, it sounds so good. And that's really positive to hear. I mean, you love to hear about that stuff about team culture because, at the end of the day, basketball's a team sport. And yes, we have our stars, but there's nothing more beautiful than when you see a game where the whole team's gelling. So it sounds like that's in the works.
Yeah, that's what we want to get to. And I think that's the cool part about basketball. That's what makes it fun when, you are all on the same page and you're working for that bigger goal and it's team first. Culture is going to be a big one for us, and that's what we're really working towards.
So good. And big goal for the Rollers this season, where are you wanting to hit on the ladder?
Well, we definitely want to push for finals. I think we're definitely up there and can compete with, obviously there's some teams that are going to be really tough, but we'll definitely push for finals and then just see what we can do from there.
Yeah, that's great. And have you guys both heard about the championship series that'll be happening down south? So whichever teams win, fly down and go to that.
Yes, well, that looks very cool.
Yeah, pretty exciting. So
Yeah.
something to play extra hard for. And lastly, Lauren, any sort of personal goals, be it in this league or outside, that you're sort of working towards this season?
I think for me, just enjoying basketball again. I think for a while there, I took it a bit serious because, I mean, you have to when it's your job and you're trying to, play for Opals and things like that. But for me, yeah, just really enjoying basketball and then really trying to help the younger ones that are coming through. Like I've got Lily on our team, who's a young up and coming point guard, and she's going to be really good. So the big thing for me is I want to help her in any way that I can. So yeah, just enjoying it and trying to help the younger ones.
That's it, leading that team culture. All right,
Yeah.
Ben. So you're the captain of the Brisbane Capitals, so you know all about team culture and building that yourself.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to be together for a number of years now in terms of the core of our team. And I think the biggest thing for us is we just really enjoy playing together. We've had a good couple of years, so hoping to capitalise and keep that moving forward.
That's great. So is this something that because you've been together a while, you know where each other are going to be on the court before you're even there? It just makes that gameplay just a little bit smoother, a little bit automatic even.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing, like moving away from the ball, knowing when players will cut, knowing what their tendencies are, and also I think probably defensively, just making sure you're sort of covering your teammates back. And well, yeah, we've been fortunate to keep this core together for a number of years. Bring in a new coach this year, which is great to have him involved, and he's been great so far. So yeah, it's good start, but yeah, a lot more games to come.
Yeah, that's right. A lot more games to come. But yeah, you touched on it. So tell us more about Andre, the new coach, and how he's going with the team, what he's bringing to the team.
Yeah, Andre played, I think he played in Italy for about 15 years prior to moving into coaching and then moving out here to Australia. So he brings a lot of, I guess, Euro lens to it, which is really interesting. And he knows the game of basketball. The way he coaches is based on a player-by-player basis, which is super interesting and is really big on culture. So it's been great to have him involved. We've had a couple of different coaches over the past few years, and he's really adding a lot of things to the group, and look forward to what's to come.
Yeah, fantastic. So in terms of the European difference, do you think that's with that like player-focused coaching, or is there any other big standout differences you've noticed?
Probably more the drills and just
okay.
the way he's structuring training and he's more encouraging of I guess more unorthodox style of like passing and just those sort of things. So it is a little bit different, but at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. It is played a little bit differently in Europe than it is in America, and the same thing back here in Australia. But he knows his stuff, and yeah, it's good to have him.
Well, that's probably good with a team that's been together so long. Spice it up with a new coach. You never know what, new good thing you might find doing that. Excellent. Well, in terms of team goals, where are you guys, Brisbane? I mean, you're at the top of the ladder currently after the first 2 rounds, so that's pretty exciting. Where are you guys looking to place this season?
The ultimate goal is to win the whole thing. Whether that happens or not is obviously yet to be seen, but we've had some success winning the QBL in 2019 and then managing to win the QSL last year. So, I mean, we know what it takes to win. We've obviously lost a few really key pieces to our team from the last couple of years. So it really just means that a lot of the other guys who have been playing lesser minutes now have more of an opportunity. And we've got a couple of younger guys in the team that are really talented and are looking to step up this year. So, yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to see, where we're at the end of the season when everyone's had a bit more court time. We're all back full in the thick of, competitive basketball. And lastly, just similar question that I hit Lauren with, what are your personal goals, be it in this league or outside of it, for this coming season?
For me, the big part is getting the most out of our youngsters and helping them where I can. feels weird to be saying that I'm the vet of the team, but yeah, it's with the young kids like Nick Stoddart, Tim Sung, Jacob Wilson, those guys, and Ben Volkman, sorry, and hopefully one other piece that we're looking to add, that trying to help them and get the most out of them. And so for me, that's probably the biggest thing, keeping the team together, keeping that winning culture going, and then yeah, hopefully competing and win a championship.
Exactly. That's what we're all here for, to go for. All right. Well, on that note, let's get into the round 2 recap. So I'm going to run through the games that were, talk a little bit about the star players, and I'd just love to know any comments you have on any of the games. So starting us off on Friday night of round 2, we had the Gold Coast Rollers win against the Cairns Dolphins, 91-63. Now, both John and I, picked this win. So Lauren Mansfield, you played 36 minutes, this 19 points, including 4 3-pointers, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and a block. Look, I'm going to say pretty good all-round game. How did it feel?
I was most excited about the block, honestly. That was the highlight for me, because I don't get many of those. So I was pumped after that. It was a bit embarrassing, like my little celebration, but yeah. No, it was good. It was a good game. No, I just jumped a few times. Yeah. Got to do better.
That's great.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good game. We had, I think there was quite a few of us in double figures, actually. I think 4 or 5 players. We had some great contribution from our bench as well. So I think it was a good all-round team game.
It definitely looked it. And I mean, other shout-outs, Casey Samuels had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, and Caitlin Cunningham, 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And like you said, there was a lot of players when I was looking through the stat sheet as well that managed to get into those double figures. So it just goes to show that teamwork is there and working for you guys. Yes. I mean, on the opposition, we had Sarah Hurd with 25 points. She only made 1 of 5 3-pointers, but she had the 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and Leishan Williams with 16 points. So, who were the hardest people to defend with Cairns? Obviously, Sarah bringing a bit of game.
Yeah, I think their post players were very effective against us, to be honest. We tried to really pressure up and hard show and kind of get the ball out of the guards' hands. So we made things difficult, and Lily particularly played great defense on their point guard. So, yeah, I think probably their bigs really were able to get good position inside. So I think they did really well for them.
That's great. And when you're playing this team next time it comes around on the roster, what are you guys focusing on? What are the key pointers that coach sort of came away with?
I think our defense inside, just being able to, obviously, if we having more of a game plan in terms of whether we're fronting and ready to help, or if we double, and just being a bit more proactive on defense.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Ben, over to you. Any comments you want to make on that first game of Friday for round 2?
Quite a stat line that Lauren had. So well done, Lauren. Good game.
Thanks.
All right. Moving on, we've got the men's. So Gold Coast Rollers win 97-68 against the Cairns Dolphins. Pretty even spread of points from the men's Rollers team. So, we had Doip 14 points, Goldfinch 14 points, 6 assists, Callum Dalton 13 points, 10 rebounds, Eustace 13 points, 8 assists, and Legasic 13 points, shooting at 83.3%, not bad, including 3 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. So a lot of people getting similar points there, so pretty good team effort. And then they were against Cairns, Cairns had their best quarter in the third. They had Alex Lowton with 16 points, James Mitchell with 14 points and 11 rebounds, and George with 13 points. So, Lauren, is there anything you want to add on the men's game there, your brother squad?
Yeah, they're an exciting team. They've got a lot of great shooters, and I think obviously on the weekend they did well at finding the open shooter, so making the extra pass. So that's always a fun thing to watch as well. Teamwork makes the dream work. They did good. They hit their shots, and their young point guard, he's fun to watch as well. He's a good decision maker, so I like watching him.
Fantastic. All right, Ben, any comments on this one? What do you think of the Rollers?
There's no two ways about it. They're pretty stacked. they've still got Jace Kadee and Drimick to add into the group. And you look at sort of who they're playing now. They got strength off the bench. They got a lot of size. They got the vets in place. I don't think Ant Petrie played, but Ant Petrie, TJ Diop, and then anytime you can bring a Bullets DP off the bench in Cal Dalton, who's putting up good numbers this year, is they're going to be strong. But yeah, I think young Preston Legasic is really setting the world on fire so far. I think he went 5 of 5 the first round or something like that. So I think he's only missed one shot for the season. So he's an exciting one, especially considering he's in grade 12. But yeah, Gold Coast is stacked. Cairns, it'll be interesting to see who they bring in later in the year when the Taipans are done, because they usually bring a couple of players in. But Anthony Fisher's been there for a long time. I don't think he had it's probably an under par game for him. But Alex Loughton, he's always quality. Got Deborah George back in the lineup, who's obviously a veteran, played for a very long time at a very high level. So moving forward, I think Cairns, when they add a couple more pieces with the veterans they got, they'll also be really tough. But it was pretty clear, sort of looking at the box score, that Gold Coast played really well and play as a team. Yeah,
definitely. And that's right. Throughout this whole season, there's still a lot of teams that are going to shift and change as more of these players come in, especially since the NBL's still going, and the WNBL, it was a shorter season. This NBL is still going. So there's players coming in from that, there's people coming out of quarantine, all sorts. So there's lots to look forward to. Now, moving on to the next game, for the women's, we have the Mackay Meteorettes win 95-43 against the Rockhampton Cyclones. And again, this is probably no surprise. We had Kayla George with another double-double, 25 points, 7 of those being 3-pointers, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, a little bit of a similar game to yours, Lauren, by the sounds of things, a little bit of everything in there. And also mentions on that team, Heidi Freeburn, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Paris Santa Caterina with 21 points and 6 rebounds. And on the flip side for Rocky, we had Katrina Clifford with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals. Tori Roos with 9 points, including 2 3-pointers, and Laura McSpadden with 10 rebounds. So big game from Mackay there. And Rocky left a little bit in the lurch, but they still were able to pull out a few good stops.
Yeah, I think Kayla's been very dominant so far, just pretty much all over the floor. Obviously, she's a great shooter, but she's in there for the rebounds as well. So, she's going to be one to stop going forward. And yeah, I think Mackay's going to be a tough matchup for us, for sure. So, and then Rockhampton, I haven't seen too much of them. I know Lara's a great player in the WNBL. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them as well.
Yeah, definitely. And so any game plans for when you take on Kayla George and Mackay?
I think we'll have to double her in the post for sure. And then I don't think we'll be hard showing on her and leaving her to shoot the open 3. So we'll have to mix up our on-ball defense against her, I think.
Fantastic. Probably a smart play. Any notes you want to add there, Ben?
Not a lot for me. Heidi Freeburn almost had a triple-double. That's a huge performance. And then, Kayla's obviously very dominant. So a bit of a one-sided scoreline, but some quality on the Mackay team.
Definitely. All right, moving on to the men's side of things. Mackay Meteors beat the Rocky Rockets 95-81. So Chris Cedar pulling out 24 points, including 8 3-pointers with 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Jaren Jamison, 21 points, and Malou, 13 points, 9 rebounds. And on the other side with Rockhampton, we had Angrick with 26 points, 7 rebounds, and Richardson with 17 points, including those 5 3-pointers. And Najeel Young with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. So what do we think of that game?
Obviously, Chris Cedar had a massive game. Anytime he can hit 8 threes, it's huge. And he has more of an influence on the game than just shooting. He's a good passer, a good playmaker. Jamison, sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, is super athlete. The big man Malou is really solid. So they would have taken on Rocky, and Rocky would have played a lot of their zone like they usually do. Rocky have still got a fair few pieces to add. So it'll be interesting as the season develops to see both these teams, because I mean, Mackay adds Harry Froling, Rocky adds Josh Wiltshire, who's been really quality for a number of years in the league, and then potentially one more. I don't think it's been announced yet. So rumours about a Cairns Taipan big man joining them. So we'll see.
Ooh, that'll be thrilling. Lots of rumours floating around. We'll see what happens, hey?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be cryptic. I just don't know if I'm thinking out of turn.
No, but I mean, just in the league in general, we're hearing things, people are coming, they maybe aren't, they maybe are. So, I mean, that's what keeps it exciting. This is what we love, the outside world around the games, not just the games themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Moving on, we've got next game. So we're heading into Saturday, and we have the Southern District Spartans for the women's beat Brisbane 87-65. Now, this sort of wasn't a surprise. The Southern District's women are really strong this season. I mean, a lot of WNBL experience. So Nadine Payne brought 21 points to the game with 5 rebounds. Kalani Purcell, 13.7 rebounds. Maddie Willie got a double-double, 11 points and 11 assists. And then on the Brisbane side of things, a pretty even spread of points, but no big scorers. They won in the fourth quarter, 24-20, but otherwise went down. So we had Meg Essex with 10 points, Brooke Blair, 9.6 steals, and Steph Collin, 9 points. So tell me, Lauren, what are you thinking when you're taking on the Southern District Spartans?
They're the team to beat this year for sure. I mean, Logan's pretty good as well. But, yeah, Spartans have got a lot of talent on their team. We actually played them in a preseason game, and we stayed with them for the first half, but then the second half they just kind of took over. I think they've got good depth too, so that allows them to rotate as well. A lot of great shooters, so just finding their 3-point shooters in transition. I think Nads was like 8 for 9 for the game, so very efficient. Yeah, so just finding their shooters and then just being able to stay in front and contain their dribble penetration. They've got good guards that can find the open players as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest thing is that depth. Like, I'm thinking back to round 1, the game of the week was Spartans versus Pirates. And so John and I were there in the flesh commentating the games and, you know, looking at these stat lines. The stat lines were pretty different. I mean, of course, Payne, Purcell, Willie all had points in that game, but, you know, some other players, you know, were shining brighter as well. So it's just that depth that, you know, it just depends who shows up that day. And they've got enough team that, you know, they can share it around who's going to be top point scorer.
Yeah, definitely.
Maddie Rocky didn't get on the, you know, top point scorers this one. But, I mean, when she comes for a game, she comes hard.
She does, yes. And even Ash Kate, who I played with her last season, she can go for, I think she had 8 threes in a game last year. So she's a great shooter. You have to know where she is. And that just gives them really good space to create and to play. So, yeah, I think any one of those players can go off for 20 to 30. So, yeah, you just got to guard them all.
Yeah, like Pokemon, got to catch them all, got to guard them all.
Yeah, that's it.
And looking at the Brisbane side, is there anything you want to add as your sister team, Ben, on Brisbane?
I think they got some exciting players. Brought in Brooke Blair this year, Kiwi, played college and is played for Rocky for a number of years, and she'll add a little bit more experience to a group that's still relatively young. I know VDog, their coach has worked really hard in recruiting a young team, but they've also got some good size. But I mean, it's hard to match up against that Spartans team. They're stacked.
Yeah, definitely stacked. I think, you know, them and Logan really going to be teetering for that first and second. But, I mean, come on, let's get some upsets in there with Gold Coast, you know, the up north teams. Let's do it.
We'll see what we can do.
Exactly. Love to hear it. All right, moving on, we had the men's game and we had the Brisbane Capitals claim victory over the Southern Districts, 86-70. So, John, you know, picked it. Sorry, Ben, I didn't pick it last week. I should have. Clearly my mistake. So, tell me a little bit about the game.
Whenever we play Spartans, it's always an interesting one because it's always been that rivalry, crosstown rivalry, and it means a little bit more. So anytime you get a win against those guys, it's a little extra sweet. But we started off strong and then sort of had a little bit of a lapse that allowed them to get back into the game. And they had some strong contributions from Josh Dirksen and CJ Massingale. And they punched us in the mouth on the O glass. And yeah, we had a tough time keeping them off it. We were playing okay defensively, but yeah, couldn't get the stops. And then went into halftime, readjusted, and managed to come out in the second half and put together a number of stops in a row and get our offense and our flow and transition game running. And we're fortunate to get away with the win there. Yeah,
and that's good. You sort of broke away pretty convincingly there at the end, which is awesome. So, in addition to you, Ben, on your team, Nicholas Stoddard had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and Timothy Soon with 12 points and 6 rebounds. So good team effort there. Was coach pretty happy ultimately, or really bringing away some points for you to focus on next game?
Yeah, he was happy. I mean, anytime we can beat a quality opponent like Spartans, it's a good thing. But yeah, I think he's always honest about just staying locked in and concentrating. We've got a lot of young guys, so it's just about really controlling what we can control. I mean, with Stoddy had a good game. Ben Volkman had a double-double. Tim Sung played well. But I think, yeah, just a really solid team effort. So we've got a big weekend coming up, but I think we're going to preview that shortly. So won't talk too much.
Yeah, we definitely will. Keep that chat for shortly. And yeah, as you mentioned as well on the Spartan side, Josh Dirksen and CJ Massingale were the ones bringing the pain with 21 points from Dirksen, but he only got 3 rebounds. So I think you did do well in that case, shutting him down, because he's normally one of their, big rebounders. Massingale got 17 points and 4 rebounds. So yeah, definitely a game there, but glad to see you guys pulled away with the win. Moving on, so Ipswich Force win 96-83 against the Cairns Dolphins in the women's. So Ipswich, they've really struggled to start the season, and we were at Canoobia on Sunday for the game of the week, where we watched their second game, which we'll talk about later. But one of the things that Coach Walmsley was really saying to us, was that they've struggled to start well. And that was the case with their first quarter as well. They were actually down, but in the end, they put off a pretty good win. And Catherine McGregor had 32 points, and Amy Lewis had 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. For Cairns, we had Donkin with 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, and Sarah Hurd 25 points, 17 rebounds. So a double-double from her. What do you think about these teams? Lauren, what are you focusing on when you play them?
We actually played both of those teams. I think with Ipswich, just staying in front of their guards, they've got some really good penetrating guard. Amy Lewis, she was very dominant against us. She's got a great pull-up. So just staying in front of them. And then obviously they've got some great shooters as well. So just knowing where shooters are and really, I think containment was a big thing for us against Ipswich. And then for Cairns, obviously Domkin played really well against Ipswich. She's a vet. You can tell she's a smart guard. And obviously she was a bit more aggressive in that game and ended up having 31 points. So she kind of found her own shot a bit more. So yeah, for Ipswich, I would say our main thing was just containment. And then Cairns, I think something that really worked for us was just getting the ball out of Donkin's hands, just trying to really pressure her and making someone else make a play.
And yeah, so when you play with them again, you know what to do. I mean, successful in the first rounds as well. All right. Anything you want to add there, Ben, or shall we move on to the men's?
I saw the highlights of Catherine McGregor's shooting performance that night. It was really impressive. So she's a young star and will probably do some really good things in the future. So
definitely one to watch. All right, so moving on to the men's, we have the Ipswich Force go down 72-83 to the Cairns Dolphins. Now, John and I didn't see either of this. Neither of us picked this coming. So for Ipswich, we had Ethan Robertson with 17 points, Michael Fleming with 16 points. But Cairns, James Mitchell brought 20 points to the game with 10 rebounds, a strong double-double, and Alex Luton with 20 points. So, Ben, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing Ipswich and your top 2 scorers are – then this is absolutely no disrespect to them, because they're both two talented kids, Ethan Robinson and Michael Fleming. If they're going to be your top two scorers, it means you've done a really good job of taking the ball out of Ralphie's hands, keeping Mitch Pulane off the glass, and then, doing the same thing with Mayo as well. So that's obviously what Cairns scouted and aimed to take away, and they were successful in doing that. But it seems like Fisher had a much better game this game, and then Jimmy Mitchell, been a veteran around the league for a lot of years. He's always a really good team glue guy, but also put a number of points on the board and rebounded well. So obviously I didn't get to watch the game, but looking at the box score, it does tell a story. I'm not sure if that's correct, but those are my assumptions.
Yeah, it definitely does. But I think you're right, because when we chat about the Sunday game, very interesting you pulled out those points, because we saw those players really show up to the next game. So I think you're right in the fact that Cairns probably did a really good job of going in with a bit of strategy and just closing out some key players to seal that win. Let's move on to Northside Women's winning by just 1 point against the Sunshine Coast Phoenix. And again, this was a surprise for John and I. We didn't call this one last week. So for Northside, we had Courtney Woods with 24 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a great double-double there. Regan McCarthy with 9 points. Then for Sunshine Coast, Jennifer Carden-David, 20 points, 19 rebounds, a big double-double. Kathleen McLeod, 14 points, 6 assists. Georgia Berry, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Northside and Sunshine Coast, again, what are you focusing on when you play them, Lauren?
So Northside, I think they've got some key shooters that we'll have to find in transition. And I think Courtney's done a great job of, adding more of a penetrating game as well with her pull-up and step-throughs and stuff. So, big one for that is finding their shooters. And then Sunshine Coast, I think they're going to be a very smart team. They've got a few guys I actually loved watching when I was a bit younger in Rachel McCulley and Kath McLeod. So they've got a wealth of experience. So I think they'll play a very smart game. I haven't been able to watch any of their games yet, but hopefully I will this weekend. I think they're just going to play more of a smart game, probably more half-court style. They're both great point guards, so they'll be finding the open player as well, making plays.
And moving on to the men, so Northside win by just 3 points, 86-83 in a close game against Sunshine Coast. Again, John and I didn't pick this one either. So Logan Kyle, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Aiden, 16 points. Aiden Krause, 14 points, 8 rebounds. And Sunshine Coast, we had Jamal Roberto with 34 points, shooting at 50%. And Darnell Roberto with 15 points and 6 assists. So, Ben, what are you playing when you play Northside and Sunshine Coast?
It's an interesting one because we played Northside round 1 and we play Sunny Coast on Friday. So we're looking into Sunny Coast at the moment. But, I mean, Northside keys are really making sure you limit Jessie G's productivity at the point guard. A lot of their offense sparks from him. Atema Temi is a good shooter. Logan Kyle, coming off down screens, can really shoot the ball. I think this was probably, obviously a very close game. I'm not sure what happened at the end. I believe there was a tech foul and a little bit of a mess right at the end of the game. But, I mean, from Northside obviously did a really good job on Nelson Kayla. I mean, limiting him and I think he had 2 rebounds. And for having played with Big Nelly and knowing him, I think he'd be probably a little bit disappointed with that. So Northside did a really good job there. Obviously a huge game from Jamal. But on the other side, massive for Northside. That's a huge win for them.
Exactly. And moving on to the next game, there's a lot of games on Saturday. It's our biggest day in the NBL1 North. We've got Red City losing 53-80 against the Pirates for the women. So Annalise Watkinson got 22 points for Red City, including 4 3-pointers. Ashley Kelman-Poto, 9 points. Lorna Shepherd and Georgia Smith, 8 points. And shout out to Georgia. She's a friend of mine and my sister's, and she actually graduated that same weekend. So they had a little cute I saw it on the social stories, party with drinks and a little shout out to her. So good team spirit, even though there was a loss there. Now for Pirates, Amanda Johnson didn't play, so no minutes on there. But Taylor King really stepped up with 21 points and 6 rebounds, and Bree Farley had 21 points, 6 rebounds and 5 assists. So in round one, when John and I were commentating the game of the week that week at the Ship with the Pirates, we really didn't see too much from Taylor and Bree that game. It was really the Amanda Johnson show. So I think it was exciting for me to see that this week they'd sort of stepped up in her, absence, not getting on the court. So what do you think about that, Lauren?
Yeah, I think that'll be key for them. The more pieces you can have playing well and playing confident, the better it's going to be for the team. So it's good to see that, with Amanda out, they were able to step up. And I've played with Bree before. I love her. She's a great team player, but a great shooter as well. So she's a good, a good player to have on your team. And I think in that game too, Kayla played quite well. She had, I can't remember her stats, but I think she almost had a triple double. I know she had like 9 rebounds, 8 assists. So if she can play well and get them going as well, I think that'll be huge for them.
Definitely help them moving forward. And so with the men's, we had the Pirates lose 83 to 78 against Red City Raw. And so John called this one. He saw that the Raw were going to win. So Red City, aka the McDowell White Brothers show, had Kobe McDowell White with 24 points, 5 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, and Daryl with 22 points, 6 3-pointers, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. So, Ben, when you're playing the McDowell brothers, what are you doing?
Yeah, trying our best to limit their outside shot, especially Kobe. Obviously, Daryl can really shoot the ball as well, and he's the engine for that team. So it's a challenge because they're both. Kobe's a little bit younger, but he's very talented and shoots the ball really well. And Daryl had a really good game and got over a team that really plays hard in Southwest. So good results.
Yeah, Kai Woodfield did put up a good fight with 25 points, shooting at 62.5%, so not bad. And Jacoby Hunter, 18 points and 4 rebounds. So Pirates came with a bit of game, but couldn't stop the McDowell Whites and the Red City Raw team as a whole. All right, so next we had Townsville Flames winning 90 to 63 against the Rockhampton Cyclones. Stephanie Reed had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Mia Murray, 24 points, 6 of those being 3-pointers and 7 rebounds. And for Rocky, again, we had Lara McSpadden with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and Acacia Mudgeridge with 11 points. So any comments on this game, Lauren?
Yeah, I think Townsville's, they're going to be really pushing for a final spot, just a prediction early. I think they've got a lot of great, exciting players. I think Steph Reed, she's just had kind of a breakout WNBL season coming off the bench for Townsville. So with her there and playing under Shannon and probably a similar sort of system, I think that'll be great for her. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup, actually. I really like playing against her. And then, they've got a lot of great guards with Mia, great shooters, Michaela Cox. I think, again, another team with a lot of great outside shooters. So it'll be key to being able to stop them, getting the shooters and, just kind of, I think, trying to get the ball out of Steph's hands because she's a good creator as well.
That's awesome. I love to hear your excitement for the game, that you're excited about, these good matchups. That's awesome to hear. Bringing that fun back into it like you want to.
Yeah.
Moving on to the men. So Townsville Heat run away with a victory 103 to 73 against the Rockhampton Rockets. So JPC, big game, 24 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, a double-double. Luca Yates, 18.7 rebounds. Josh Spires, 18 points, 5 rebounds. And for Rocky, we had Najeel Young with 18 points and 11 rebounds. So a double-double for him, and Ben Wright with 15 points and 5 rebounds. So, Ben, what are you taking away from this game?
Townsville always incredibly well coached, and Rod does a really good job with that group. They're always a talented group, but they always play really well together. a big reason why they've won a number of titles in recent years. So, they look very talented. The young Jalen, Patton Kroger, a huge game. And I think they've got a really exciting young kid in Lukey Yates who comes off the bench. He's obviously really talented. So, a really solid win for Townsville, and tough weekend for Rocky having to go to Mackay and Townsville.
Yeah, a bit of a tough one for Rocky. But finishing off the round two, we had our games of the week. So that was where John and I were in the stadium commentating at Canubia to see the Logan Thunder take on the Ipswich Force. And for the women, they cleaned up a massive win, 94-37 against Ipswich. Michaela Roof was unstoppable, quite frankly, 32 points, shooting at 73.7% with 26 rebounds. So a pretty mammoth double-double. We had Carla Drennan also with 16 points and Ash Tyre with 14 points. Now, Ipswich, it was their second game. They did struggle to start, as, Coach Walmsley had warned us. And unfortunately, it was pretty low scoring for them, and their percentage of field goal, shooting just wasn't where it needed to be at only 17.6%. But shout out to Ali Burke, who really did her best to create some game plays. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, so pretty close to a double-double. Amy Lewis, playing a strong game, 7 points. And the team's really just waiting on Abby Bishop to come, so they're very excited about the play that she might make. So, Lauren, what do you think about Abby joining the team?
Yeah, I think she'll definitely help them for sure, just with that bit of height. I think that'll be a big key for them, and that'll kind of open the game up a bit more for them. Obviously, Abby's a very experienced, a major threat on offense. I think she'll be key for them and really help them to, settle into games a bit more, be able to get stops on defense as well, with her being able to match up against people like Michaela Roof, who went off for basically 30 and 30. I mean, it wasn't 30 and 30, but yeah.
Almost.
Just
shy.
Yeah. I mean, Logan's tough. They're very talented. They've got threats everywhere. And I think a big key for them is Michaela Can. She's running the show there. I think she's averaging double-figure assists. So she's finding the open player, making plays, and then you've got Ash Tyre also, who's went off for 10 threes last week. So she's a huge threat for them. So they're loaded as well. And I think they're playing good basketball. Obviously, they've had 2 blowout wins, and obviously they're playing some good defense too if they're the opponents are shooting 17%. So there's something to show for that as well. So they'll be another tough team to beat this season for sure.
Definitely. And if you had to pick Spartans or Logan taking it out, if you guys don't make it, who are you choosing?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to go Spartans though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to hit with similar question. Ben, do you have a prediction? Spartans or Logan for the women?
It's hard to go past Spartans, but for the sake of keeping it interesting, I'll go with Logan.
Okay. We've called it here. We've called it here in the third ep of In the North. Okay, and now finishing off the round with the men's game, we had a big win going to Logan, who won 79-69 against Ipswich. Now, it looked like they could have run away on the game, but Ipswich did really well to come back. We sort of flagged it earlier against Cairns, they were really shut down, but we did see in this game some players step up. So for Logan, Jeremy Kendall had a great game, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, just shy of a double-double again. He managed to jump off a plane and get one last week, but just shy of one this week. Mitch Young having a great game, 13 points, 17 rebounds and 6 blocks. So a double-double and a really strong defensive game, which Ipswich really does know how to bring the defense, which is always great to see. For Ipswich, we've nicknamed him Money Mal. Manilok Malik was really bringing his A game. He needed a little bit of time to warm up, but he ended up with 25 points, shooting at 64.7% with 10 rebounds. And Jason Ralph back in the game, this second game with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, but he'd get fouled out in the final moments. And both John and I were a bit surprised because we thought he'd play to the final minutes, but he just got one of those, quick turnaround fouls to slow the clock. So Ben, any comments on this game here?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I think to your point, Logan were sort of on the precipice of blowing it out, and then Ipswich did a really good job of keeping it close, and Mayo was a big part of that. But I mean, anytime you got Jeremy Kendall on the floor, he's just a nightmare to guard, and you got guys like Mitch who rebounds the ball like he does, and I mean, what did you say, 5 blocks? So protecting the paint really well. So yeah, a really good win for Logan, and yeah, tough weekend for Ippy, but probably a lot of positives to take out of that one.
Yeah, definitely. And like both teams did play consistently strong to the end of the game. So that's always great to see. So we've made it through round 2. We're going to do our little MVP bits. John has mailed me in his MVP things, and I've read through his results, and we're unanimous, can't even speak, but we're voting for the same people on this one. So John's picks for the men, he's going to go JPC with against the Townsville, or for the Townsville Heat, with 24 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, winning 103-73 versus Rocky. You know, it was a big win from Townsville at home versus Rocky, and JPC led the way. We always knew he could score, but the rebounds and assists are a nice bonus. He was a hot recruit this off-season, and we can see why with his stat line. So that's from John, and he was the one I was going to tip as well. John's also going in for the women, Michaela Roof from the Logan Thunder, 32 points, 26 rebounds in a 94-37 win against Ipswich. Logan is a championship contender, and Roof is a huge reason for that. Ipswich knew she was going to be key and would have game planned to try and slow her down, and she still had 32 and 26. And John has written still in full capitals, so you can just see his excitement there that she was able to push through. So any disagreements there with our, MVPs of the week?
No, not from me.
Yeah, pretty strong there. Okay, let's take a look at the ladder now. So for the women's, we've got Logan top place, followed by Mackay, then Gold Coast. Whoop, whoop. Then Southern Districts, matching with Gold Coast, and then Townsville. So they're the top leading teams at the moment. And for the men's, we've got Brisbane. There you go, Ben, top of the ladder. Gold Coast, Logan, Townsville, and Mackay. And both Mackay teams have played 3 games, but only have 2 wins. So ladder's starting to shape up as we head into round 3. So we're going to go through some of the round 3 predictions and games, and then we might just chat about the games you guys are going to play in briefly, and then start wrapping things up. So on Friday, we've got the Sunshine Coast Phoenix take on the Brisbane Capitals, and my pick for both of these is that Brisbane are going to take it out for both men's and women's. John is saying Brisbane for the women's, but not for the men's. What do you think about this, Ben? Is Sunshine Coast going to beat you?
I certainly hope not. Yeah, it'll be a really tough one. They've got some size in Nelson and Big Oscar Clough that do a good job on the glass, and then obviously big job will be containing Jamal. So hopefully John's wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going top of the ladder, staying strong. I'm with you, Ben. Lead that team, lead them into a big win.
I'm a bit nervous. You didn't pick it last week, so
yeah, I know. I'm plastic like that, just flipping floppy.
It should be a really good game. So yeah, it's an exciting one. Up at Maroochydore.
Yeah, going to be great. Okay, so now on Saturday we've got back-to-back games for Brisbane. Are you looking forward to that, Ben?
It's always good to play basketball, but my body says no. But yeah, I mean, it's the second time we played Northside. They're coming off a big win last week, so they'll be really keen to pip us. So it'll be a tough one on the second half of the doubleheader.
Definitely. So it's Northside Wizards take on the Brisbane Capitals, both for the women's and the men's. John and I are both picking Brisbane for both games there. So, John's backing you in this second game, but he obviously just thinks there's something that the Phoenix have going for them that might pick you in the first one. But, let's prove them wrong. Gives me good chat during the commentating sessions as well, So help me out, Ben.
Yeah, I'll do what I can, and then hopefully I can send John a message later.
That's it. Love to hear it. Okay, so then after that, we've got our game of the week. Yes, which will be at that one. So I'll see you there, Ben. We'll be commentating in the flesh. Very excited to see it. But then following that, we've got Rocky and Mackay. So I'm tipping Mackay for both the men's and women's, and John's doing the same. Anyone disagree with us here?
No.
I think it's a pretty strong call. Likewise, we move on to Red City Raw, take on the Sunshine Coast Phoenix. And I'm picking Sunshine Coast for both, as well as John. Anyone disagreeing with this one?
No.
No.
All right, another unanimous vote. We're moving on. We've got the Cairns Dolphins versus the Townsville Heat and Flames for the men's and women's. So I'm going Townsville for both. So is John. Are you guys joining us?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. It's Cairns at home, so there might be a little bit of an upset there. Who knows?
Okay, I like that. I like a bit of spice added to the mix, a bit of a home upset. That could be fun to run with. Well, we'll all be proven wrong if your suggestions come to fruition. Okay, Pirates versus Logan. I'm going to go Logan for both of those as well. So is John. Anyone disagreeing?
No.
Tough teams. You kind of be crazy too, but hey, you never know. Pirates might have an upset. Moving on, Spartans taking on the University of the Sunshine Coast, Rip City. So I'm going to go Spartans for both, but John's going for the women's Spartans and for the men Rip. What do we think of that?
I'm going to go Spartans for both.
Okay, so you're joining with me. Whoop.
Yeah.
Anyone going with John?
I'd say it's probably a coin flip in the men's. USC had the week off last week. They're still missing a number of key pieces, but they've still got some quality playing at the moment. So I might just go against the grain and go with USC. Make it fun.
Okay, I like it. Make it interesting. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a pretty even game there. So it'll be interesting to see how it all boils down. Logan Thunder. So this is the last game on Sunday. We've got Logan Thunder take on the Northside Wizards. And again, I'm going to go Logan with both of them. So is John. Are you guys joining us?
Yeah, I'm going to go Logan.
All right, fantastic. Well, just like that, we've reached the end of our third episode of In the North. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and giving up almost an hour of your time. We really appreciate it. It's very exciting to be watching you guys play in the NBL1 North competition. Of course, don't forget, for everyone listening, thank you for joining in. This is happening every week along with the games of the week, which are brought to you by Basketball Queensland. And just remember, you can watch all NBL1 North games live streamed, live and free on the NBL1 app or just the NBL app or at nbl1.com.au. So make sure you're watching it. And you know what? Maybe even just watch all the NBL ones, because we do have that championship series coming up at the very end as well. So again, thanks everyone for the podcast. Thank you guys. Can't wait to see you play this week. Good luck for everything. Ben, make me proud against John. Yeah. Lauren, have another cracking week. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
See you. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.